This episode includes an honest conversation about suicide, birth trauma, psychiatric hospital admission, and mental health diagnoses, including BPD, OCD, and PTSD. We've spoken openly about these topics because we believe honesty helps break stigma. But please look after yourself while listening and skip this one or come back another time if you're not in the right headspace. Thank you.
Welcome to Entry Level Moms. My name is Nasra.
I'm Suya.
And today we have a very open, honest, raw conversation awaiting you guys. This topic, to once again reiterate, is a heavy one. So if you're feeling any, heaviness, or if you need a break, or if you need to take time, please prioritize your own well-being and take it easy on this one. Show yourself some grace and allow yourself to take breaks if needed. We'll put some stuff in the description box, so if you do feel like you want to contact any services, please check out the description box. So without further ado, I would like to welcome you to meet Jasmine. And I'm going to let her introduce herself and tell us all about herself before we really get into the conversation, guys.
Hi, it's nice to be here.
Hey.
So I'm Jazz, or Jasmine, but just Jazz is good. I'm a mum of two, and I have a very mixed life these days, doing lots of various things, but my self-employed work is working with other mums and their families preparing for birth or in postpartum, which is really fun. And obviously, as you ladies know, I have my own podcast called My Postpartum Podcast, where women come and share their strictly postpartum stories.
Wow.
So yeah, lots keeping me busy.
Tell us how it all came about.
What, the postpartum podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, obviously from my story, basically. I thought, it's to be shared. And really, the first episode is the only one where I'm really sharing much about me. The rest is all just for other women to come and share their stories, because I realised, there's a lot of birth stories out there, which is amazing. Love a good birth story. But when you're preparing to be a mum, especially for the first time, you don't get an awful lot of postpartum stories. And I always felt like if I had heard other people's postpartum stories, I could have probably prepared myself better for it. So that's kind of where the birth of the podcast came from.
Okay. That's so true. Postpartum, mate.
It
hit me so hard the first time around.
Yeah.
I was so focused on the birth for 9 months.
That's it.
Just let me get through to the birth. Let me just get through that. And then, boom, labour was out the way. But then I had PPD for almost 2 years.
Yeah.
And I completely agree that we should be talking more about postpartum. It's actually nuts.
And I also think that if you talk about postpartum more, you can also rework it backwards, and it's inadvertently birth prep. When you start talking about your postpartum and you start going, well, this is what postpartum's like for me because the birth went X, Y, and Z. All of a sudden, you're then learning backwards how you want your birth to be. A lot of focus is always on the birth, and yeah, it's fair, it's important. Yeah. But when you just start looking at actually how do I want after birth to look like, and then what do I need to implement in my birth preparation to give me a better chance of having the afterbirth that I want, the postpartum that I want.
We don't think about the postpartum element of it. People always warn you about, labour's going to be so painful.
Yeah.
Then you're literally left with this newborn baby and you're already exhausted from labour. Your body is trying to heal itself, whether you had a natural birth, whether you had a cesarean. Your body is now in repair mode.
Yeah.
You've lost so much nutrients, blood, you're dehydrated probably. You're probably just so depleted nutritionally,
and that's just physical as well. That's before you've even touched on
mental.
That's before you even touched on the mental.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, let's dive into your postpartum.
Let's go.
Let's get into it. How was your pregnancy, first of all? How did that go?
First one, it was hard. The first 20 weeks, I had hyperemesis gravidarum.
Wow.
So there was a period of a month where I was literally in the hospital every other day for fluids. So it was rough. And also it didn't help that it took me quite a while to get the diagnosis of hyperemesis. And actually I didn't know that's what it was. I was just going to my appointments and saying I'm so sick, I can't eat. And I lost almost 2 stone.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was. And then it was only when I went into A&E one time, because I'd been in before, and a female doctor had basically said, because I think I was about 8 or 9 weeks, and she'd basically said, I think I was in for like dehydration or something. Oh, I can't actually remember. I think it was I know I had an ectopic scare, at 9 weeks. So I went in for that. And then she was asking how the rest of my pregnancy is going, like once we'd ruled out the ectopic thing.
Okay.
And I was just, I'm so sick. I can't do this. It's really hard. And then she just basically said, okay, how often are you being sick? Like, are you being sick more than 8 times in a day? And I was like, no, I'm actually not really being sick at all. She was like, oh, you're fine then.
Oh.
I was like, okay. I didn't know. Like, I didn't know. I was just like, okay, I guess I'm fine then. Although in my head, I was like, I really am not feeling fine. Like, I feel like I'm dying. And then it was about 3 or 4 weeks later, I was about 12 weeks pregnant. And again, I was back in the hospital again. I think I'd picked up like a cold. It was like October time. But then the cold, on top of not being able to like eat or drink, you know what I mean, like battered my body. So I very, very quickly got very poorly. So I was back in A&E, and they'd given me some anti-sickness. And I just remember this consultant, he told me he wasn't actually assigned to me, but he saw me in the corridor, and he saw that I was still being sick even after he knew that I'd been given the anti-sickness. I was still sitting there like throwing up. So he then took me in, and then like he was the first one who actually sat down and asked me like, how are you actually doing? And I was just like broke down crying. I just broke down. I was like, I can't do this. I can't do this pregnancy. Like, I don't know how, but I feel like I am dying. And he actually listened to me, and he really like validated the fact that actually what you're experiencing isn't normal. Like, yeah, you might not be throwing up very often, but the fact that you actually can't eat and you can't drink, and that is why you're not throwing up, like there's a problem. So obviously they do what they do, check like ketone levels, referred me up to early pregnancy unit. And yeah, from there on, for about a month, every few days I would go in, have like fluids for the day, eat a meal, like because I'd be able to actually stomach it.
You had an episode with Gemma, and Gemma's a hyperemesis midwife.
Wow.
And she went through HG herself, and it was real bad.
Yeah.
And she did say that there's 2 extremes to HG. There's the one where you vomit 50 times a day, and then there's the one where you're so nauseous that you're like, it's like extreme nausea.
Yeah,
you feel like you're gonna vomit, but there's nothing that comes out.
That's the thing. You're on the verge of vomiting. You're like, I might be sick, but nothing. You're not really being like. There were times that I would be sick, and like if I was brushing my teeth, sometimes I'd be sick, or if I tried to like actually take some like pill form of medication, and often that would be why I'd have to go back into the day unit. Would be because I tried to take a pill of anti-sickness, and then it just comes straight back up, and then they're like, and then you call them, they're like, right, okay, come in, then we'll give it to you IV. So I just lived with a cannula in my arm for a good few weeks, but we got through it, and then after then. After about 20 weeks, I moved house as well, which was a bit of a stressful thing to do, isn't it? Like, let alone when you're pregnant.
One of the most stressful things.
Listen,
goodness.
I moved house when I was pregnant too, and then I moved house after I gave birth, and then I moved house again after that. I think in the last six years, I've moved house about 8 times.
It's too much.
Yeah,
it's too much.
It's really bad. It's the worst thing you can experience when you're already like going through something.
Yeah. So done that. The rest of the pregnancy was all right, to be fair. Like, once I was over the HG, I then actually managed to put on enough weight so that I was about what I was before I got pregnant.
Wow.
Which, like, so it was actually really nice, but do you know what I mean? Like, to like get to that point.
Bless you. So you mentioned in the request form that you had a traumatic birth.
Yeah, with my first, yeah.
So what happened?
Essentially, I was being kind of told that I need to induce, so I'd booked induction. Didn't want to do the induction. Ended up going in for a sweep.
Were you at your due date or after?
This was way before. This was before. This is the thing. Yeah, this was before my due date. Yeah, so like my due date was like the 9th of May. They were wanting to get me induced at 38 weeks. Yeah. Because he was small. He wasn't SGA, you know, because there is actually, you know, he wasn't growth restricted. He was just a small baby. So they were like, oh, let's just induce. I didn't like that, but I didn't know what I know now. Do you know what I mean? So I'm like, okay, fine. I guess I'll go along with this, although something in my gut was telling me do not have this induction.
Yeah.
So I was like, right, I'll do whatever I can to not have this induction. So I thought, right, I'll have a sweep. Obviously, that is a method of induction, isn't it? And that, actually, I'm grateful that done the trick and put me into labour. And yeah, went in and basically it was just like a standard kind of hospital birth, but I didn't realise that what is a standard hospital birth is actually flipping traumatic. Do you know what I mean? Like, I had no idea how it is very much like a conveyor belt system. How they, like, you know,
In
want
and
you
out.
in,
Yeah.
out. But I ended up having an epidural at about 8 o'clock in the morning. So I went into labour kind of a Wednesday evening.
Okay.
And then on 8 o'clock the Thursday morning, I had epidural. Later that night, I think like 8 o'clock that night, they were like, oh, okay, you're 10 centimetres, so we'll start pushing in an hour. Or maybe it was a bit later. And yeah, I was pushing for the 2 hours, but I was done. And also my epidural had worn off on one side.
Oh, God.
So like I was feeling everything on one side of my body and nothing on the other, which was like not okay. I was not okay with it.
I can't imagine that.
Contractions on one side.
Contractions only on one side of your body.
It was rough. It was rough. And I was done, yeah. And you know, like parts of labour, you know, you hit transition and you're like, oh, I can't do it anymore. I can't do it anymore. I was like, not even in that. I was like, I'd gone way beyond that. And I was like, no. I'm fully in my logical brain right now. I am telling you I'm done. I want a C-section. Like, I'm calling it. I can't do this. I'm done. And my midwife just looked at me and she said, you're not having a C-section. You have to push this baby out. And I was just like, I can't even, like, my stomach dropped. I was just like, so now I don't have a choice.
They've removed your autonomy.
I don't have a choice. And she said, right, I'll give you 15 minutes and I'll come back in 15 minutes and see how you're doing. This whole 15 minutes, I'm just thinking, I don't know what to do. I can't do it. And now I can't have a C-section. And it was the fact there was no reason either. Like, she didn't say, like,
I'm going to take you through this. Let's go.
Yeah,
we can do this together.
It could have just been said.
Yeah.
So it could have just been like, you can do this.
Yeah.
Like, you can, like, try. Like, you know, we're with you. You can do it. But it wasn't. It was just, you're not having a C-section. You have to push this baby out. So I was like, right. And then, yeah, she come back in and I was just like, I can't. And she said, okay, I'm going to go and get a doctor to just come and help you. That's what I remember her saying to me. So I'm like, okay, cool. Doctor come in. I'll tell the doctor I want a C-section. Yeah, cool. Doctor comes in, back with her. Now, to my memory, I don't remember there being any conversation between me and that doctor. All that happened was they laid me back, feet up in the stirrups. He gave me an episiotomy, got forceps out, and was like dragging me down the bed, like telling me like when, like to push when he was pulling, like when I had a contraction, it was, okay, you need to push when you have a contraction. He would tell me, and as I would be pushing, obviously he's pulling on the forceps, but it's quite literally like I'm being pulled down the whole bed. Like the midwife is like having to like hold me up, I think, or I'm having to like hold myself on the bed because I'm being dragged down the bed by the force of the forceps around my baby's head being pulled. What? Yeah.
What the fuck?
There was no communication about what
I didn't know that
to
was
do.
what was going to happen. The midwife just said to me, I'm going to go and get the doctor to come in and help. I didn't know that's what that meant. At what point does like help mean that that's going to happen to you? Like, you're going to get cut and your baby pulled out with, and like the thing that like I always keep with me is the clinking of the metal. Like, it's the clinking of the metal.
Jasmine, that is so traumatic. So first she removed your autonomy when you told her that you wanted a C-section. You were so depleted, energy gone. I can't do this anymore.
Yeah, because this is Friday morning, by the way. So I went into labour Wednesday night. This is early hours Friday morning. He wasn't born. He was born at just after 1 a.m. on a Friday morning. Yeah.
So she removed your autonomy and didn't even give you a reason, and then went and told the doctor, come in, let's get this baby out of her by force.
That's what happened.
I'm so sorry.
It's sad, but it's actually reality for a lot of women. I didn't know that at the time, but that's the reality for a lot of women.
That's nuts. Usually, because my cousin had a forceps birth, and usually because she was really struggling with the pushing, but by the time they came with the forceps, they were talking her through it, and they told her what they were about to do. Do you get what I'm saying? It was. I think informed her.
It might be in my memory.
Yeah.
That, you know, that I can only say from my experience and my memory, like, I'm sure they probably told me we're going to get forceps, but it wasn't a question of, are you okay if we get forceps?
Consent?
Do you want us to give you an episiotomy and do forceps? Like, what's actually the clinical reason of this? Because there was no reason given. Like, if anything, like, everyone, like, there was nothing going on the CTG that was indicating he was in distress. It was purely just, like, you know, maternal exhaustion. So yeah, it was wild. And I remember, like, after that happened, like, just completely dissociated. Like, that was it. I was just like, and also I then hemorrhaged. But this is where it's funny, right? Because, so my knowledge, I didn't know that I'd hemorrhaged at the time. I didn't actually know I'd hemorrhaged till, like, I was pregnant with my second, and I was relearning about my first birth to, like, try and make sure it didn't happen again and to learn everything. And I explained, like, my experience to someone who I was working with, and she said, well, that experience is a hemorrhage. But the morning after that first birth, I was on the ward, and I said to the midwife, like, I think I might have lost a fair bit of blood. And the midwife said to me, oh, no, you only lost 585 mils. That's normal. That's actually not. That is actually a hemorrhage amount, because anything over 500 mils. And also, I'm, like, quite a small build, so, like, anyone can lose a certain amount of blood and deal with it differently.
Yeah.
So someone who's a different build of body, or even the same build but just a different person, could lose the same amount of blood but not hemorrhage because their body, you know, is different. So for me, I lost 585 mils, but my physical experience of this was, I was laying back, I was being stitched up, baby was on me, and my vision just went yellow and blurry. I couldn't see. Yeah, I was like, I genuinely felt like I was going to die. Like, I had this pure terror of, like, I'm going to die. Like, I can't see. It's yellow and blurry. And, like, your body just went, like completely limp. And the next thing I know, to my knowledge, was, like, I had 2 people trying to cannulate this arm. I already obviously had a cannula in this arm. I had someone, like, giving me injections of something. That, like, the room got full with people. And so I had my mum and my partner at the time as my birth partners. And they told me after that, when that all, like, happened, the midwife went over to them and just said, oh, everything's fine. I'm just going to press the emergency button so I get an extra few pair of hands in here. So, and, like, push them to the end of the room.
Oh, my God.
So it's like, but everything wasn't fine.
Professionalism out the window.
It was just wild. It was wild. But yeah, and then after that, like, my mum took me, like, helped me have a shower. And I just remember, like, I remember so clearly, they brought me this the toast. Yeah, the toast. Fuck the toast after what I've just been through.
Yeah.
Not eaten for, like, 3 days. I've not slept for 3 days. Or, you know what I mean? Like, I took a bite of the toast. I was like, nah, I'm good. I don't want to touch the toast. Do you know what I mean? And
I toast and tea, man. The birth.
Jasmine.
And
honestly, you know, like, how shocked and appalled I am. And I know, like, we hear a lot of, like, stories, and people stop us in the street and tell us about their birth stories. Like, it's mad. We hear a lot of stuff, yeah. But every time I hear someone's experience, every time I hear the entire story, it actually makes me want to cry. Like, I can just imagine, I can just picture you, I can just feel you in that situation. As someone who has experienced my autonomy being taken away from me in that setting, like, I know that that dissociation. I know, like, when your brain just checks out.
yeah.
And that is no wonder you started a postpartum, because that's the beginning. That's the recipe for a fucking horrific postpartum.
Yeah, literally. And I remember so clearly in that room, because I always like, you know, since being little, I was like, I always want to have 2 kids, you know. I want 2 kids. I just want 2 kids. Yeah. And after that first experience, I literally sat there, my baby on me, partner at the time and mum in the room, and I looked at them. Yeah. They knew I wanted 2 kids. I literally looked at them. I said, if I ever do this again, it's elective C-section. If I ever do this again, it's elective C-section, because I am never going through that, ever. Yeah, that's what stuck with me. And then we obviously go postpartum, don't we?
Oh my God. And then they send you home. After all of that,
Yeah.
they send you home and you're now looking at this baby with no like manual, no nothing. It's
Yeah.
your first time out here. And you're looking at this baby like, what now?
Well, you say
literally.
that. When you come to talk about sending me home, I actually stayed in. I kept requesting that they keep me in because I wanted to breastfeed, and I was struggling to breastfeed. He wasn't latching, so I was having to like manually express and then give him the colostrum through the syringe. And I, in total, I think I stayed in. He was born the Friday morning. I think I went home like the Sunday afternoon. So from the Wednesday evening, I think I'd had maybe a few hours sleep before I like went into the hospital. So from the Wednesday evening to the Monday night, because I went home on the Sunday, but I still didn't fully sleep, I don't think. I think I got like an average of 1 hour and 20 minutes of sleep a day across all that time.
Oh my God.
So like, that's like, because there was obviously some periods in that time where I didn't sleep for a full 24 hours.
Yeah.
And I think it was like on the Saturday night, it was the second night that I was in, I buzzed for the nursery nurse to come and take him at 2:30 in the morning. Because I just said, I can't, like, I actually need to sleep. Like, I haven't had a decent stretch of sleep for however long.
Yeah.
So she came and took him and she said, it's fine, we'll just take him to the nursery. Just as soon as you wake up, buzz us and we'll bring him straight back to you. And I literally slept from bang on 2:30, woke up bang on 4:30, buzzed, and he was back with me within like 10 minutes. And that was 2 hours stretch of sleep that I got.
Even that's nothing.
I know. Yeah. But that was,
You know how fast your mental health can decline after something like this.
Yeah. And then the sleep deprivation on top.
God.
Yeah.
It's, as you can see, it just builds a perfect picture for an absolute recipe of disaster. And then somehow I strung it out. You know, the first few months, I was just chilling at home, you know, feeding him, watching TV all the time, you know, like eating, just getting through it.
Just getting through the day, each day. Yeah.
Yeah, because the thing is, it didn't hit me then.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Wouldn't have, yeah.
It didn't hit me
You're
then.
still disassociated. Like, your brain was still,
yeah.
You turned something off in your brain.
That's it. And I was so swollen as well, like so swollen. My legs were literal tree trunks, okay? Literal tree. I was real swollen.
I couldn't walk either. I don't know what it is. It might be the fluids that they give you and the fact that you didn't eat, because I'm the same. My legs were like, my thigh was the size of my ankle.
Yeah.
Like, it was real bad. I could not walk. They had to wheel me around in the hospital.
Like, was it like your skin was stretched so tight? You know,
my
like,
God.
so your skin's painful because it's stretched so tight because you're that swollen.
And it's
that was
so
me, like my
hot.
whole legs.
How did they get that off? They put me in like a leg compression machine
Do you know what the midwife said to me? Like, because this started obviously really soon after birth.
Yeah.
And we like literally said to her, like, something's wrong. Like, why am I so swollen? She goes, oh, it's just probably the underfloor heating, love. Like, it's end of April, it's nearly May, and you're telling me it's underfloor heating. I don't even feel any heat from this floor. Like, honestly, every midwife I felt was just gaslighting me.
Is this a horror movie? Is this satire?
Yo.
Underfloor heating.
Honestly, that's the same midwife that told me I didn't have a hemorrhage and that I should, what am I doing laying in bed? I've just had a baby. I need to get up, go have a shower and make my bed.
Jasmine, yeah.
In the hospital.
Oh my God.
I'm so gagged.
That makes me so mad. Like,
yeah, it's wild.
When did things turn for the worst for you?
Things really turned for the worst when he kind of got to like that 4-month period. That's where you get the 4-month regression in it. That, and not only did I have the 4-month regression, I was also going to this like weekly, it was like a 6-week like new mum course, like not even course, like group that they put on just for new mums at like the local, like, what's it called?
Children's Centre.
Health, that's the one. Children's Centre, that's the one. And like we went there and 1 week we were talking about sleep. And I was the only mum there that was like, oh, I co-sleep. Like, my baby's in with me. It's the only way I get best sleep, you know. I just get my boob out, put them on the, do you know what I mean? Just carry on.
Yeah.
And the 2 people that, did you?
Yeah. I still co-sleep.
Oh.
She's 6.
Nice.
Yeah, we're transitioning now. And now it's like maybe 5 nights in her bed and then 2 nights in mine.
Oh.
But it's been 6 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do what you got to do at the end of the day. And I wasn't going to lie about it either.
Yeah.
Because this is the thing with me. I'm just going to be honest. Because actually, the pressure of going in somewhere, and most of them other mums were co-sleeping, they didn't want to say it. Yeah. Because the 2 people that are running this group are obviously, you know, government employed. You know, it's all safe sleep, don't co-sleep, all of this. No one wants to be like, oh, yeah, I'm doing what government tells me I shouldn't. Or, you know, like what, you know, goes against, you know. But I was just like, no, I'm going to be honest about it. Yeah, I'm co-sleeping. It's the only way we get any sleep. But from there, the 2 people that run it, and I'm not saying they've done this deliberately, but I felt pressure from them that I should be stopping co-sleeping at 4 months. So obviously I then started trying to get him to sleep in his next to me crib a bit more. And that on top of the 4-month regression, on top of probably that being enough time for the dust to settle from the birth. And it was like, plus I was having serious postpartum rage.
Oh my God, the postpartum rage. I hear it. I've never felt rage like that in my life.
Is it towards your partner at the time?
It was towards everyone.
Everyone,
everything. The wind blew my hair the wrong way. Like, you know what I mean? It was like another level. And this is where, like, I will also mention, obviously, I did go on to get an OCD diagnosis, but that was only within the most, like, recent years.
Okay.
But it's worth mentioning now because I didn't realise that was also part of what's at play here is the intrusive thoughts. So I was having intrusive thoughts about harming him mixed with the postpartum rage. And I didn't know these are just intrusive thoughts. They don't mean that, it doesn't mean I'm going to do it.
It doesn't, absolutely.
You know? So the intrusive thoughts mixed with the postpartum rage led me to genuinely believe that I'm going to hurt my baby. Like I'm going to do something that I don't want to do. And I'm like, I don't know how to get out of this. So that was when things really started taking a turn for the worse. And that was when the only way I could think of getting out of this was to end my life. I couldn't think of... I didn't know. You know, I didn't know this is OCD. You get intrusive thoughts just because you feel this way. You know, you don't need to love your baby every second of the day. It doesn't make you a bad mum. If you get annoyed in the night when they're woken you up for the 5th time and you're pissed off about it, it's okay. You're not a bad mum.
Yeah.
You know, it's actually quite normal to be annoyed if you're getting interrupted that many times a night.
Yeah.
Like, but because it's your child that's doing it and you feel this kind of pressure, whether it be internal or from society or both, to be this perfect mum, you think, oh, I can't even have this negative thought about my child without it meaning that I'm an awful mum. I'm not fit to be a mum. That was like how extreme my brain was going.
Yeah.
So when your brain's like operating on that kind of level and you're giving yourself no grace, you know, the only way out I could see was, well, I just need to not be here. And I even like went through thoughts of like, it's wild to even say, but I even had thoughts of like, do I take him with me then? Because I can't leave him here. I can't abandon him in this world. So how do I do that? And then I went to thoughts of, well, I'm going to give him to the social services. He can go for adoption. And then I thought, no, I can't, because I still can't live with myself if I do that. I can't live knowing that I failed as a mum. You know, I can't. I just couldn't do it. And I'm not saying, there might be women out there who have given babies for adoption, and I'm not saying they're failed. Yeah. But for me, I just couldn't see a way out. I really couldn't. Yeah. And then after maybe a week or two of like thinking like, what do I do? Do I take him with me? What do I do? I decided on, I'd planned. This is the thing that I was planning. This is the thing I was actually planning it. So I decided I would take him to that child centre that I'd been taking him to, because there was a lady there that I'd been seeing for like breastfeeding support since he was about 6 weeks old, and I'd just see her every few weeks, and she would, check in with me on some stuff. She knew like a bit of my history, like from childhood, and she just, she was just a support for me. And it was funny because there was this one morning that it was just the worst morning for me. It was awful. And like the intrusive thoughts were there. I felt physically so rageful. Like something on my phone was like broken and I was trying to fix it. And then he was like crying and it just got too much. And I was so fearful that I was going to do something to him that, and it just so happened that I actually had an appointment with this lady that morning. And so I drove us to that centre, and on my drive there I was like, right, that's it, I'm doing it now. I'm doing it now. Like I can't.
So you made peace with it at that
I'd
point.
made peace with it. I was like, I've got to do it. I can't continue now. So yeah, I drove to that appointment, and she obviously could sense I wasn't okay. And I don't like remember exactly what she had asked me, but she had asked me something, and I think I'd obviously said enough for her to realise, like, you're not walking out this building. Because I think I'd just said something along the lines of, like, I'm really struggling, but, like, I've got a solution. Like, I know what I'm going to do with him. And I don't know if I said to her, like, I'm going to bring him here. Like, when I can't do it anymore, I'm going to just bring him here. And I don't know. I don't know exactly what I said.
Yeah, you must have said something that...
It was something for her to...
Alarm bells, yeah.
That's it. And she just said to me, like, right, because obviously I was with, my kid's dad at the time, sorry. And she just said, like, right, cool, we're going to call him and he's going to come here now. And I'm going to speak to the mental health team right now and we're going to get you an urgent assessment. I was just broken at this point, like, genuinely, just completely broken. We went, so yeah, my partner at the time, he came and picked me up. We went home for a few hours and then I had the assessment in the afternoon back at the same place. And yeah, they basically said, yeah, we would strongly advise that you go into a mum and baby unit. And there's actually a bed that's just become available at Kingfisher MBU, which is in Norfolk and Norwich, at Helston Hospital.
Wow.
So then that was it. They put the referral in, that got accepted, like pretty much straight away. And then so that was like the Thursday evening or Thursday afternoon. And then first thing Friday morning, my partner at the time drove me and my baby up to the MBU. And I went in there thinking like, oh, I'll just be in here for the weekend. That's what this place is for, right? You just go, like, you don't go into hospital when you're there for longer than a few nights, right?
Yeah. I've got a question. So during this time, when you were having all these intrusive thoughts and stuff, were you with your partner at that time? Like, he lived with you?
Yeah, we lived together.
He didn't notice anything, or was he working most of the time?
He was working most of the time. Yeah, he was working most of the time. And I don't know if he did notice anything. I mean, he probably noticed that I was, like, seriously moody. Do you know what I mean?
Do
you
know?
Tired, yeah,
rage.
Yeah. But I don't know if anyone really knew, like, the actual level of where my head was at.
Did you get any other, like, family support while he was at work?
That's the thing. Like, I was really supported. Like, I had my mum and sister were around a lot.
Oh man.
They weren't around when we first came back from hospital. They were around, like, very frequently.
Yeah.
But around the 3-4 month mark, where it really started getting hard, like, everyone's kind of just gone back to their lives.
Exactly.
Like, my mum and sister aren't coming around most days anymore.
Yeah.
It's a bit different.
They usually focus on you the first, like, couple of weeks, when the baby's fresh, and then after that, it's like, I think she's okay now.
You start to get the hang of it. They assume,
That's it. And
you're getting into the swing of it.
And that's it. And to an extent you are, because like I say, like I think the mental health stuff for me, a lot of it was like it caught up to me, you know, because I didn't feel this way. Those first few weeks I got lovely photos and videos of me and, you know, and my baby like having so much fun in those first like couple of months. And then it was like, boom, out of nowhere, completely turned.
It's mad how that recipe for disaster at the birth stage can literally like have a knock-on effect on your entire life. Like for me, that trickle-down effect, severe postpartum depression, and then it got worse as like she was getting a little bit older in that first year. So I hear you when you said around 4 or 5 months, that's when it really knocked you, because it also got worse for me as well. And then it trickled down onto, and now I'm divorced. Now it's affected my marriage. Now it's affected my relationship with my mom. Now it's affected my relationship with everybody. Like, it's such like it's now affected my self-esteem, my confidence. Like, I've forgotten who I am. Like, now I'm unable to express myself anymore. I felt silenced. I felt like gagged. It has a mad trickle-down effect on the rest of your life.
Yeah. That's mad. And it's so true. How you're treated in that birth room seriously can make or break a woman, you know?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry you experienced that.
I'm sorry to hear that you also had similar, though. It's really, the thing is, it's common. It's that it's not normal, but it's common.
It's far too common than it should be.
So now you're at the baby unit. How was it like staying there?
Yeah, because remember me and Sawia said we've never met anyone or spoken to anybody who's experienced or told us that they've experienced being in a mum and baby unit.
Yeah, so it's literally like a perfect mix of hospital and prison. I've never been in prison, but
that threw me off. That threw me off.
Wait a minute. I thought it'd just be like a hospital.
I thought she was gonna say
That's it.
No, I thought she was gonna say a perfect mix of a hospital and like a nursery.
Hotel.
Rah! She said prison. That threw me off. Did you see my face drop?
Yeah, I'm being real. Like, it is, because you're in a secure unit.
Because it's like a mental...
It's a mental hospital.
It's almost like you're locked in there.
For real.
Do you get what I mean?
For real. And this is the other thing. So you go in and every time you go in, like when you take all your stuff in for the first time, they search everything. They have to search everything, see what you're bringing in. If you've got anything that you shouldn't have, like anything that might be sharp, any medication, anything, they'll take it. Even like, you know, the plastic bag that your nappies come in, they take the plastic bag. So you have to just have all your nappies like out of the bag.
Yeah, for suffocation reasons, yeah.
Yeah. It's like nappy sacks, all stuff like that can't have.
Don't say shoelaces.
I don't remember them making me take my shoelaces out. I don't know. I can't, I don't think they, because also in the unit and like in your room, there's nothing you can tie it round. So like, you know what you might tie it round? Like a bed rail. It's not built like that. It's built so you can't tie anything around anything. So like you don't have a tap. You have like, you know, like a sensor that you put your hand to. That is what turns something on. And like to open the window, it's like a turn kind of dial thing. And then it's like, you can't open a window and stick your hand out. You know, it's like it opens the outer window. And then there's like this rail type thing that, not rail, because it isn't a prison, but it is a mix of it. Do you know what I mean? But it's, you know, this then in a bit where the air can come in, but you can't physically put your hand out.
Just ventilation.
Ventilation, yeah. But it did let in light, you know, so like the room would be light. And then, but it was a really nice MBU. So I haven't been to any others. So I've only got experience of this one, but it was really nicely laid out. There was a really nice nursery where you could take your babies to go and play. Yeah. There was like a separate, like private living room. If you wanted to go in there, like if you have family visiting, you could just like request to go in there so you don't have to stay in your room. There was a nice communal room with like a dining area, massive like TVs. Obviously, that like with the TV, like it's all behind a box. Yeah. Do you know what? The thing that I think people might be surprised at is the food was incredible.
Was it?
We had our own chef.
I love that for you.
Our own, yeah.
Because hospital
Serious.
food ain't it. Do you know what I mean?
That's it.
Toast and tea.
I've never been in prison, but prison food ain't it either.
We ain't never been in prison.
Literally.
I've watched shows. And
They be cooking noodles in the kettle.
Yeah, no, honestly, you got lunch and dinner. Wow. You only had to sort out your breakfast, but again, like they provided like the bread, cereal stuff, and like you had your own. So there was obviously milk kitchen to prepare the baby's formulas and stuff, and then you had your own little kitchen if you wanted to make anything for yourself. But then also next to that, there was the chef and his kitchen, and you could literally write a request for what food you wanted, like the next week, and he would do like fresh cooked lunch and dinner and dessert. And he was called Ricky, and he was amazing. Ricky was just a great guy.
Shout out to Ricky.
Shout out to Ricky.
Shout out to Ricky. Food is the way to our heart.
Also, nutrition is really important,
It's so
obviously,
important.
you know, for milk production. So they probably thought, let's really invest to make sure that the food is good.
Yeah, and rightly so. Like that's somewhere where NHS big tick, because you know where else do you need a personal chef for 8 women and their babies in an MBU? 100%.
So were all the women there like? Did they all have like newborns? Was it varied ages?
So varied. Wow. So I think one of the women, because when you're in there, right, women are coming and going over the weeks.
Yeah, of course.
There was some that was literally newborn, like days old. And there was some, because it's up to 1 year. And I remember one lady had, I think, a 9-month-old. And I was in there he was like 5 months old when we went in. And then I think there was quite a few around like the 3, 4, and then 6 month. But yeah, there was only 8 of us.
How does it work? Like, do they give you like a schedule? Like, is it just like they come and check in on you? Can you ask for help? Like, can you say like, hey, look, I haven't slept properly. Can you just feed my kid and like look after my kid so that I can sleep and like, get a full night's rest?
Essentially, yes. So when you first go in, you're on one-to-one observation. So someone is watching you the whole time. Wow. So like literally sat with you the whole time.
So they're just in your room, just sitting on a chair.
Or you have to have your door open. So they can sit outside the room and then just see in.
Oh my God,
do they talk to you or like do they just watch you?
Both. If you talk to them, they'll talk to you.
Okay.
If you don't, then they won't. It's like they're normal people at the end of the day. They're reading you. Like if I would fancy a chat, I can talk to them. If I don't, I won't. But they normally keep you on one-to-one obs for 24 hours, so they can really like build a picture of you. But they dropped my one-to-one obs after I think like maybe 6 hours. So once you drop one-to-one obs, you're then on obs every 15 minutes, and it's permanent. So the whole time you're in the MBU, every 15 minutes, someone will come around and just check that you and your baby are okay. They won't talk to you because they don't have time. How they've got time to say hello to everyone every 15 minutes, yeah? But they'll just literally like, so if you're in your room, they'll just like look through your window at the door and just like see that you're breathing, your baby's breathing, everyone's good, on to the next people. That's every 15 minutes. So at night as well, at night they'd flash a red light in, just every 15 minutes.
Every 15 minutes.
15.
You might as well just sit down in my room.
Just 8 members of staff, each person just chill next to someone.
Just
you take two.
Because it would just kind of like, because I'm very jumpy. So it would just kind of make me jump every time someone pokes their head in. I'm like, what the hell?
Well, the thing is, they won't poke their head in. If your door's closed, they'll just look through your door because you've got like a glass window where they can look through. But obviously at night when it's dark, they will flash the light in. Now, they normally flash a red light because red is less bright. It's less, intrusive.
Yeah.
Well, red light is a trigger for me from my childhood. So they're flashing in this red light, and it took me a little while to like get to grips with it. But I would literally wake up every time I saw this red light, sweating, like severe anxiety. And then it was on one of my ward rounds, I just said like, can we change the light for me? like, can we not have a red light for me because it's actually making me so much worse. I'm getting even less sleep. And they did. They then changed it and I had a white light, which was, you know, it actually stopped. Like, I stopped jumping up every time I, you know, sensed this red light.
Wow.
So, yeah. So 15 minutes is your OBS. And then there was some times that I was in there that they'd just put me back on one-to-one OBS. So if they thought that your mental health was deteriorating more, then you'd go back on a one-to-one observation until further notice, basically. So there were a few times when I was in there where that happened.
Is it just meant to be a place where mums who are really in need of the help and support can just relax? Is it because
in a way, yes.
It sounds stressful the way you're putting it.
It is, because
and I'm trying to understand how it would help the mums.
It helps because you're in a place where you're kept safe and your baby's kept safe because someone can be there like that. It, like what you said earlier, like, can someone come and take your baby? You can request for some time alone, and a member of staff or like a nursery nurse will come and just take your baby for you if you want that, or if you feel like you need that. And really, it's a whole kind of integrated approach. So you're in there, you're under a consultant psychiatrist. Then you've got a team of psychologists and occupational therapists that are working with you. You've got nursery nurses, you've got the mental health nurses as well. So you've literally got like a full package. There's also like a ward health visitor as well. So it's supposed to be a place where mums can get better. Like in a hospital, you need to get better.
Yeah.
Like, it might not be a physical thing, but it's in your head, and you need to get better so that you can get back out of the hospital and you and your baby will still be safe.
Yeah.
So there was some really nice stuff. Like, they would put on different activities. So like there would be, the nursery nurses might do like a little baby activity, and because you're all in the hospital, it would be at like random times of the day as well, which is quite nice. So like sometimes at like 7 p.m. in the evening, the nursery nurses might do like a little like sensory for the babies, like before bed and stuff like that. And sometimes the mums would, I say the mums because I never really felt like I was part of the mums, you know, like I really tried to keep myself to myself a bit. But occasionally I would join in like with some of the communal stuff. So like we'd go put our babies down, and then like one of the staff members would like run a quiz for the night. And then we'd all just sit there and like do a quiz and stuff. So that there were elements of like normality in it, which was quite nice. It would just be like, if you wanted to leave the ward and go off site, you would have to like fill in this form saying like what time you're leaving, when you're coming back, what you're wearing, what you like, I think what you plan to do while you're out. Like, it's all stuff like that, which is where it's like, it's more than a bit prison-y, you know, because they need to be accountable for where you are, what you're doing.
Yeah.
They have to deem if you're safe. I remember one.
Are you allowed to take your baby?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you take your baby. Well, it depends. Everyone's different. So like, if they think you're a real risk to your baby, then they might not allow it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I was always able to. I don't know of anyone that I was in with that wasn't.
Yeah. Let's say you just wanted to walk to the shop.
You'd have to fill out this whole form.
Oh my God.
Yeah. You have to fill out the whole form to do that and say what you're wearing and whatnot.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, and like if I wanted to, so you couldn't access a bath. So when you wanted to bath your baby, you'd have to basically go and ask a member of staff, like, can you open the bathroom for me to go and bath my baby?
Did someone have to like supervise as well, bath time?
If you were on one-to-one OBS, yes, because you're on one-to-one OBS, so someone has to be with you all the time.
Yeah.
But if you're not on one-to-one OBS, then no, they'll just come and check you every 15 minutes like normal.
Yeah.
If you're on one-to-one OBS and you want to go outside, do they come with you?
Yes, I think.
Okay.
It's interesting because I never actually done that. Because normally if you're on one-to-one OBS, well, for me, whenever I was on one-to-one OBS, I just want to be in my room. Don't talk to me. No one. Like, but yeah, they would come with you. Because there was an outdoor area as well, which we could go out. They would obviously have to open it, I think, for us. So we could go out. Prison-y. A bit prison-y.
Prison-y.
It does give it prison-y.
Rec time.
Yeah, that's it.
I was about to say, were you allowed visitors?
Yeah. They were really like supportive of visitors. But again, this is where it's a little bit funny. Like I didn't know it at the time, but every time I had a visitor, so my grandma, she would always come like most days because she lived not far from the hospital. I had some friends come up as well over the time, and that was really nice.
Yeah.
But what I didn't know was they actually ask the visitors when they leave, like what the visitor thought. So like my friend, she was like, "Oh, Jazz, like, when you're in the MBU, every time I left, they would always ask me, like, what did you think Jazz was like today? Do you think she's being her normal self?" Like, they are assessing you on everything all the time.
Wow. I rate that, though.
They have to, don't they?
Because no one knows you more than your friends and your family.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah,
So
100%.
They want to see if there's any kind of improvement. And
Yeah.
yeah. Wow.
Oh my goodness. So how long were you in there for?
5 weeks.
5 weeks.
Yeah. And I thought I was going to be in there for like 3 or 4 nights. So
You
it's
were like,
wild.
yeah, a weekend trip.
Yeah, that's it. Weekend trip.
Vacation.
Little spa weekend for me and the babe.
Oh, wow.
5 weeks.
Yeah, 5 weeks. And that was quite short. So like,
Wow.
yeah, that's short. Yeah, other women were in there for much longer, like 12, 8 weeks, 10 weeks.
You said it was for 0 to 1. What happens if like you're struggling at like 11 months and then you need to be in there for 12 weeks?
They probably wouldn't put you in there.
Oh.
If you're, I don't know, I don't work for the mental health services, but if you're like at 11-month mark and you're quite mentally ill, if it's like absolutely crucial, they probably put you in there for a month and see what they can do for 4 weeks. But once your baby is 1, you'd then be moved out. Maybe it would be that you would have to go to another ward, but your baby would then have to, you know, be with someone else, and you wouldn't have them on the ward with you because you'd obviously be on a normal mental health ward kind of thing. Or you'd just obviously go back to community care. But I think there's quite a lot that they can do in the community as well. Like I think they have teams where they can literally come and have someone be with you every day if they need to. So like, MBU is really just for like, you know, when they are really quite concerned.
You were there 5 weeks. So how were they able to like assess to know that you were ready to leave?
Yeah.
How are they able to know that?
So every week you'd have a ward round. So like in a hospital, if you were to admit to like normal physical kind of hospital, you'd have a ward round every day, every morning. Doctor would come and review you, plan for the next obs every 4 hours or 6 hours, or whatever the doctor said, yeah? But ward round would be every morning, doctor would review you, plan for the next 24 hours. Well, you only get ward round once a week in there. So you would go in and there'd literally be like a room full of like 10 different people from like your consultant psychiatrist, the doctors working under her. I had a female one. So there's only 2 consultant psychiatrists for the ward. And then you've got like your nursery nurse team, your mental health nurse team, everyone basically that you're working with. And so throughout the week, like it would all be dependent on what they felt you needed. So like throughout the week, I would probably have like, I think 1 or 2 sessions with like a psychologist to go through stuff. And then I think 1 session with like an occupational therapist. And every ward round, they would then all talk to each other and say where they've got to with you, I assume. And then they would kind of judge whether they could gauge whether I could go home or not from that. But also, you have an allowance for how much holiday you're allowed to take. It's like a job, yeah? You'll get an allowance for how much holiday you can take off the ward. So from the off, I would go home like every Thursday night and come back Sunday. So I'd be allowed that time because I wasn't sectioned as well.
Yeah.
So, you know, they have to still treat me like a human at the end of the day.
Wow.
So I would go off the ward Thursday evening, come back Sunday daytime. And that was like really good for me, I think, because it helped me. I never had that full feeling of only being in the MBU.
Yeah.
So I did have a bit every week where I was actually at home for a little bit, which was, I think, was good to keep me a bit more in check with being at home. Because like doing your own laundry as well.
Sleeping in your own bed.
Sleeping in your own bed. I get to co-sleep. Because in the MBU, you can't co-sleep.
Oh, co-sleep. Oh, interesting.
No, because a lot of the time if you're in the MBU as well, for a start, you're on a single bed and you have a cot next to you for your baby. But the other thing is you're probably going to be on medication in there and you can't sleep next to your baby on the medications that they're going to give you.
Damn. That's so interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. I had a question, but it slipped my mind now.
I also had a question.
Oh, yeah.
Also slipped my mind.
You guys are just like, this is real
Also,
prison
sorry.
vibe.
No, it's giving prison. During your stay there, because I know there's a lot of stigma around mental health. During your stay there, did you feel like you couldn't tell people about your experience, or like did you feel shame? Because there's a lot of shame around it. Some people, they don't want to talk to even their family members about where they are, and do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
So how was it like for you?
The drive up there, I was feeling that heavy. It was heavy, like, I can't tell anyone this. Like, no one can know. I think the night before, I'd finally said to my mum and sister, like, I'm having a mental health assessment. I think they're going to send me to a mum and baby unit. And my mum and sister were just like, what? Like, where's this come from? So obviously I told them. But yeah, on the drive up there, I was like, it just felt like this big, dirty secret that I'm going to have to hide, you know, for the rest of my life from everyone. But then I got up there, and as I got settled in, and like my grandma, she has had time in a mental health hospital before. So I knew that I could reach out to her, and I knew she was close. Yeah. So I think over time, the stigma of it wore off, and I started realising, like, it's okay. Yeah. It's okay. Like, I can talk to people. And obviously, like I said, like, I ended up having a couple of my friends come up a few times to come and see me. Yeah. So, like, being able to open up to a friend and telling them where you are, and them going, okay, you're an hour and a half away, but I'm going to drive up and I'm going to spend a few hours with you. Like, it helped break down that stigma quite quick for me, which was actually really nice. Yeah. And then obviously for a while when I come out, it was not like you're going to shout about it from the rooftops, but it took a little bit of time for me to then start opening up about it. But then in time I was like, actually, I'm going to be honest about this, because I noticed when I was, women would actually come back and go, do you know what, I really struggled with this and I really struggled with that. Yeah. And it just creates this environment where women feel like they can share things honestly and openly. And what I love about it is you lose this sense of like trying to be the perfect mum, because you realise we're all struggling in one way or another. And just because you might be struggling to a different extent than someone else doesn't mean your struggle is any less valid than someone else's either. Facts.
You know, when you said earlier on about after the postpartum with the intrusive thoughts and like how you were so like in your own like head about it, yeah? In that moment, had someone have come along and been like, oh yeah, those are just intrusive thoughts. That happens to me all the time. Yeah. Oh yeah, sometimes I feel like I want to, you know,
throw a pillow at my baby. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean?
Like, sometimes I feel like I want to throw my baby on the bed and just like a basketball. Yeah. You know, even me, like I've talked about this on the pod before as well. So with Suia, like I lived on the 13th floor of a 15-floor high-rise. Can you imagine the intrusive thoughts that I had every single day? Man. Bro, it was one or the other between I'm gonna jump off or I'm gonna throw her out the window. Yeah. Like it was a one or the other, and it was really, really intense.
Yeah, but look, you're here to say that. So like you can say that, and then someone else can go, oh, I'm not a bad mum then.
Yeah. But at that moment, I felt like the worst mum. Had someone have come along and just been like, bro, it's just an intrusive thought. Like, it's going to come and pass. Just let it come, let it pass, and then don't think about it again. Yeah. Whenever they come, just let them pass.
Yeah, that's it.
Don't give them too much attention, because then you're going to ruminate, and then you're going to feel bad about it.
You internalize it.
Exactly. And then now you're going to think these thoughts are here. You're going to believe that those thoughts are there in order for you to need to act upon them.
Yeah, that's it.
And then you're going to feel like, okay, now I'm a really, really terrible person. I'm a terrible human. Like, forget even being a shit mum.
Yeah.
I'm just a bad human.
Yeah,
like, I'm a bad person.
Yeah.
Because why is my brain working in this way?
Yeah, why would I think this about something that I love more than anything?
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense.
Come along.
Yeah.
I love what you're doing.
And even, thank you. I love what you guys are doing. Thank you. But even if someone comes along and says that, or even if you can relate to it, and you think, yeah, but I'm still actually really struggling with it. Yeah. Because for me, it did start getting to a point where I felt like I had physical sensations. Like I physically felt like I wanted to like squeeze. Yeah. You know? So if I'm physically feeling like I actually might want to squeeze my own baby, I need to learn how to manage a physical feeling like that. Absolutely. You know? Mm-hmm. And that's actually, this is interesting. So I never did. like physically squeeze him or do anything to him.
Yeah.
But this is where it's really interesting. So because I think I had said to someone, probably that lady that morning that she got the assessment team out, that I'd had these physical sensations and that, you know, I'm scared now, you know, because I don't feel like I can control myself. I'm scared that what if, you know, I've been able to control myself this morning, but what if I can't another time? Then what? I can't live with myself now. So I needed to be able to manage these physical sensations and learn what it is, where it's coming from, like the rage, you know, and how to regulate myself. Regulate myself. But because of this, it then triggered. So when you go in the MBU, also they do a body map of your baby to check, like, has your baby got any marks, any bruises, anything like that. Now, my baby didn't have any marks or bruises or anything, but after my first ward round, which was I think on the Tuesday, so I went in on the Friday morning, had the ward round on the Tuesday, there was a question mark over whether I had actually squeezed my baby or not, because there'd obviously been some miscommunication between the team that had, you know, first seen me. And then when I went in on the Friday morning, the doctor came to speak to me, she asked, like, what had happened that led me to be there. And I wouldn't talk to her about it. And I think that she might have interpreted my silence
to you
as assuming that I had harmed.
Okay.
Because I didn't want to talk about it. But I didn't want to talk about it because I just felt so ashamed. And I've already told 2 people that I felt like I wanted to squeeze my baby. I don't want to tell anyone else, you know. So
God.
I then didn't say anything. I just like cried. And I think she maybe had interpreted that because I didn't say, I felt like I wanted to, but I put him down, I walked off, and I then got in the car and drove to the appointment, you know, because I didn't verbalise that, I just stayed quiet. She might have made the assumption. Because of that, they then said that I needed to, well, not I, but they wanted him to be assessed in hospital to be checked. And they were like, they came and spoke to me, like the nurse came and spoke to me after ward round and said, like, this is what we're going to do. We just need to cover our backs. And I literally looked at them. And this is where the OCD plays in as well, right? I knew I hadn't done anything. Yeah. I knew I haven't done anything to my baby. But when you have people like saying that they've got to just cover their backs and they've just got to check things and they've just got to be triple sure, it makes you start doubting yourself, especially when you're mentally ill anyway. You're like, I was literally sitting there like, oh my God, what if I actually have?
Yeah.
What if I actually have?
What if I have and I didn't remember?
That was it. What if I have and I don't remember this? I was like, yeah, okay. I'm like, but at the same time, I'm feeling really annoyed. I'm like, why don't you believe me? Why don't you believe me? So I had these 2 parts of me. So that he was like, right, tomorrow morning we're going to take you up to the hospital. And they were so good. The mental health team was so good. He actually reassured me and he said, look, we don't think you have. You know, like, they know their stuff. He's got no marks on his body. This was like on Thursday. You know what I mean? Like, but they were like, but to cover our backs, we need to go get it checked externally. And he talked me through. He was like, they're probably going to want to have him like x-rayed or MRI'd, CT'd. Like, they're probably going to do a full works just to make sure. Right? So I'm thinking, oh my word, I've got to spend a whole day in hospital having people basically check that I'm not abusing my child. Which is kind of like a real tough pill to swallow as a mum. Do you know what I mean? Like, that is rough.
Especially if deep down you know you didn't do that shit.
Yeah, 100%. But I just thought, do you know what, whatever. And I actually saw it as a reassuring thing because I then started doubting myself. I was like, do you know what, fine, I'm going to go there. They'll tell me if I've done something. So I went there and the first nurse comes in, does his normal obs. She's like, oh, he looks like so happy and healthy. And they know what you're in there for as well. You're literally coming with a mental health nurse or like, you know what I mean, a nursery nurse. Like, you're not even being left on your own. Like, they know what you're in for. And then she's like, right, I'll just go and like speak to the consultant. We're quite busy today, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, this consultant comes in and like he's on the bed, like he's rolling around, he's babbling, he's like playing like with his feet and all of this. And she literally walks in and she looks at me and she asked me a few questions. She's like, you know, why are you here? Like, what's going on? And I just said, like, I just feel like I can't cope. I feel like I'm a terrible mum. You know, I'm so worried that I'm going to do something to him. I'm so worried I'm going to hurt him somehow. And she like looked at him. She was maybe in there for like 10 minutes max, just mainly talking to me, doing a little bit of obs on him. She like just checked his body basically and like saw if there was any bruises, which there obviously wasn't. And she just looked at me and she just went, I think you're doing an amazing thing, getting the help you need. Like, your baby's absolutely fine. You can go home. We don't need to waste our time doing any scans. I felt so, like that. Like that.
It's going to make me cry.
I thought, yes, I knew it. I know I haven't done anything to him, but it just felt so validating.
Of course.
When you've been built up that you're going to spend a whole day there and people are going to basically test your baby to see if you've done something
And
to
now
him.
you're also paranoid because what if they do find a mark?
Well, that's the other thing.
Because do you know what I mean? What if they do find something and now they question that and then you're like, did I do it? Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like, what if he has like, you know, asthma, and then they're like,
or breathing difficulties,
or heart defect, or a murmur, and then they're gonna say you did that because you squeezed him.
But this is how it's so scary how your life can be so different just for the people that you interact with. Because had it been another doctor, had it been another day, had it been, I don't know, like, you just don't know. So yeah, it was so validating to then just be sent home. And then we got back and one of the nurses, and this actually really riled me, right? Because like we got back and one of the staff members were like, oh, you're back really quick. Wasn't expecting you to be back now.
I really wish people would just shut the fuck up sometimes.
I swear
there's actually no need to, like,
I swear
there's no
to
need
God.
to say anything, bro.
What was the reason?
Literally, in my head, considering I'm mentally ill, I'm in here because I'm mentally ill. I'm not thinking 100% sound,
Yeah, that's
and you
what I
say
mean.
that to me, I literally was like, in my head, I was like, she thinks I've hurt my baby then.
Yeah.
Exactly.
She thinks, like, because she's just told me she wasn't expecting me back now.
Yeah.
She fully believed that I hurt my baby or something.
Yeah.
That's how I took that.
Yeah.
That's
And
how
then
I
it
would have
was,
took that.
and then it was this whole thing for me. Well, I can't trust her. Like,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Now you're going to hyperfixate on every look she gives you, every time she
That's
walks in the
literally
room.
it.
You're going to hyperfixate on every time she comes next to your baby, every question she asks you. Are you here to sabotage me?
100%.
Are you here to make me seem like a villain? Are you here to villainize me?
Yeah. Are you
Scary.
judging me as well? Are you
judging
me?
100.
Yeah.
Because you fully believe that I did that.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
And to be fair to her, she might not have actually believed that. It might have just been a passing comment. You know what I mean? Like, and it probably was.
But
but
when you're mentally ill,
That's the
when
thing.
you're
be
unwell,
conscious how you're saying things, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, do you know
Think
another
before you speak,
another
man.
funny thing, right? That happened in there. One time I got really annoyed. He wouldn't go down for nap time. Yeah, he would not sleep, and I just lost it. I just switch went in my head. I was done with trying to get him down for a sleep. So I literally like stormed out of my room, and obviously as soon as like you do anything, like they see everything, don't they? So I stormed out my room, stormed past someone, and I just shouted something along the lines of like, I think I said something like, "Get him far away from me. I'm gone. Like, I'm leaving," or something along those lines. Like, just get that baby away from me. And I just headed for like the doors. And obviously, as I'm walking up to them, I'm like, "Of course, I can't get out, can I? I'm in a secure unit. I can't get out of this place." Obviously, I was mentally ill. I just was in a rage. I like punched the wall, and just fell to the floor crying. Anyway, I went into like the this private living area with one of the workers there, and he said to me, he was like, obviously trying to talk me down. Someone obviously went to be with my baby, so he wasn't on his own, and he was like just obviously talking me down. I was like laying on this sofa or sitting on this sofa, I can't remember, and he was talking me down. He was doing such a good job. I was really getting calm, and then he just looks at me and he goes, "Do you know, some mums would do anything to be in your position and have a baby."
Ah, please.
bro.
Jasmine.
He
Jasmine,
said that
if I
to me.
don't lose
He
it,
said that to
if I don't lose it right now,
What do you mean?
He said that to me, yeah. Yeah. Do you know what happened? I stood up, cushions were flying. Cushions went flying.
if you didn't punch him, I'm surprised, bro.
I squared up to him. He was this huge guy, like 6'5", big guy.
The fact that it came from a man too is pissing me off. Oh my God.
I was livid.
Do you know how
Jasmine.
sick that is?
No.
What if he calmed you down on purpose in order to rile you up again?
That's what I was honest.
What a fucking sicko. Why would you do that? You know that this person is here because they need help. They're vulnerable. Why would you talk them down, get them calm?
And then say that.
Say something like that.
It was wild.
That's intentional, bro. I'm sorry.
That's what I felt.
Never have seen that.
That's what.
Maybe the other lady, you could say it was an accident. You know,
Yeah.
didn't mean to see you this quickly. Like, you're back so soon.
Yeah.
It could have been a mistake. That wasn't malicious. That one was malicious, bro.
Sorry.
That was spiteful. He did that on purpose.
Listen,
That man did that shit on purpose.
I'm speechless.
Yeah. Consider I'm in a mental hospital. If I'd have really tipped over the edge and hadn't been able to calm myself down, that's it. They could have come in with all sorts to tranquilise me. Do you know what I mean? They could have.
What a dickhead.
But they didn't. I did throw some stuff at him. And then one of the female workers came in. He left the room. But yeah, you can see how that whole thing could have been very easily orchestrated from him. And I really got that vibe. I was like, I don't like this. You don't say that to someone who's in a mental hospital, struggling. Like, you don't say, oh, you don't, some mums would do anything to be in your situation and have a baby. Oh, yeah, I'm not really in that headspace right now, mate. Do you know what I mean? How can you not read the vibe?
So dismissive of like your entire experience.
Yeah.
Because something happened to you in order for you to end up here.
Yeah. And like what you said, it's from a man as well. Like, come on.
Make me sick.
I'm speechless, Jasmine. I'm not gonna lie. I need a minute.
No, same. I think I need a minute, That has infuriated me, bro.
I laugh now.
That could trigger anyone.
Why is he working in a place with vulnerable people?
Well, thankfully, when this lady then came in and she was like, what's happened? Because obviously they see on the CCTV in the main room that I'm starting throwing things, so they come in. And I say, like, this is what he's just said to me. Like, this is outrageous. You can't say that to me. You can't say that to anyone who's going through a hard time. Yeah? And that did trigger some internal stuff. I know that it did trigger some internal stuff as to like whether he is actually fit to be working in a place like that, like specifically with mums. He might be finding another ward in a mental
Dare I
hospital.
say it should be women only working there.
Yeah, well,
That's just my hot take.
I did have a really nice male mental health nurse. I did, but I do get it.
Do you know what I mean?
I do get it.
That's pissed me off.
Jasmine, man, it feels like it's like this for you. Like you're feeling okay, then someone says something. And then you're feeling okay, and then someone says something. You were just validated in the hospital when the lady was like, you can go home. Then the lady says, oh, you're back so soon. And then, do you know what I mean? It's just like...
You're taking 5 steps forward and someone's dragging you 15 steps back.
It's almost as if they want to keep you in there. That's
almost.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But
we got out. 5 weeks, we got out.
You got out, so you made it home. How were you feeling after? Like, do you feel like you still had like the intrusive thoughts? Like, did you think it helped staying there?
I think it served a purpose.
Yeah.
It served a purpose. And at the very least, I didn't have to cook for X amount of meals and I had some good food,
Fair.
So at the very least, I'll take that.
You didn't have to worry about your
grocery shopping.
Yeah, that's it. It served a purpose. And then when I went out, I obviously social worker was involved. But she was so lovely. I had such a lovely social worker. She really understood me. She even wrote on my notes. So when it came to light towards the end of my stay there, that someone had written that I had squeezed him on my notes. I said to her, like, this is really concerning for me. And also, this only came to light at the end of towards the end of my stay. So I couldn't even flag it straight up from the beginning. So anyway, when I did flag it and I spoke to her about this, I was like, I feel so uncomfortable about this. She literally wrote over my notes that it must be a mistake. Like, even my social worker wrote on the notes, like, this must be a mistake. Like, there's obviously been a communication error. Like, she's not seen anything. So, because obviously when we went back home, I still had her for about 3 months. And I also had my mental health nurse. Now, my mental health nurse that I had, she's actually the one that done the assessment on me originally. So it's a beautiful story there, which I'll carry on. But yeah, the social worker, she really like validated me. She backed me up because I was like, on the phone to her at home going like, they're still not taking it off my notes. They're keeping it on there. Like, but I haven't actually done it. Like, even at the hospital, the consultant said there's nothing wrong here. Yeah. Go home, go back to the hospital, go back to mental hospital. Like, it's fine. It's sound. You're good. So yeah, it was so nice to have like my social worker like validate me and just go, no, you're fine. I know this is on your notes. We can't change that. That's been put on your notes, but we can say that we don't believe that and that it's obviously a mistake and that originally, like what you'd originally said was that you'd had the urge or you had the feeling. So yeah, can't fault her. She was really lovely, and it was like case closed as soon as I got settled back at work.
You're telling me 5 weeks, the whole time they believed that you did that shit because somebody wrote down on the notes.
Well, this is the thing. It's so confusing because did they believe it or did they not? Because even like the day before I went to the hospital with him to have him all checked, like my mental health nurse, this was the guy one, he literally said, like, we don't think you've actually done this. Yeah,
Who
so
wrote
it's
it on the
so.
notes?
I think the health visitor, because she, not the one in the ward, the one who like basically missed all of this in my, postpartum. She'd like only heard a snippet of what was going on, like in the child health centre that day that I had the assessment. So if I said to the lady that I saw originally in appointment, like, oh, I had the urge that I felt like I wanted to squeeze him. Yeah. And then that lady has then said to the health visitor, oh, she had the urge, she wanted to squeeze him. The health visitor could have easily just misheard that as she wanted to squeeze him or she squeezed him. Yeah. That's, I think, where the miscommunication came from. Because I literally traced this back for so long. I spoke to my mental health nurse so much about it. I was like, did you guys write this on there? Like, where's this come from? And the only thing we can get it back to is potentially this health visitor. So there you go. But I had the same mental health nurse, and that was amazing. And she stayed with me right up until February 2025, because I obviously then got pregnant with my second when my first turned 1. And she came to discharge me, and I said, you're not discharging me today. And she was like, you're pregnant, aren't you? I was like, She was like, right, I'll just keep seeing you then for another 2 years.
How did you feel when you found out you were pregnant the second time?
Buzzing. Well, I didn't find out because I didn't do a test. So me finding out was me feeling sick and going, I've got to be pregnant. Oh, I haven't had a period for 6 weeks. I've got to be pregnant.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but it was so good. I mean, I felt really sick. I had hyperemesis again, but, I dealt with it better. I wasn't in hospital nowhere near as much. Yeah, and I'd done so much prep before I got pregnant. I left that MBU and I was on a mission to learn everything I could about free birth, to learn everything I could about like bodily autonomy.
You free birthed?
Yeah, the second one.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wait a second. Free birthing is like zero intervention at the entire 9 months. Yes or no?
That's more of like a wild pregnancy.
Okay.
Yeah. So I didn't do a fully wild pregnancy. I had a midwife appointment at 16 weeks.
Okay.
At which point she told me if I birth at home, then me and my baby might die. So I was like, okay, this is literally just reaffirmed why I don't want your involvement.
They always do that, don't they?
I mean, you nearly died in the hospital.
Yeah,
so where's your evidence for that?
Yeah, if I'm going to die, I'd just rather die at home, to be honest. But,
You know when you said you lost 580 millilitres of blood? I give blood, yeah. And that big bag, have you seen that big ass bag that I give blood with, yeah, is only 480 millilitres. Because they told me it's just about a little bit less than a normal sized bottle of water worth of blood.
Yeah.
Do you know how long it takes for that blood to come out of me, Suya?
How long were you
15, 20 minutes I'm sitting there. It takes for it to come out. And it's heavy. So if you lost more than that and you're like half my size,
Yeah.
no wonder you hemorrhaged.
Yeah. No wonder I had the physical symptoms of a hemorrhage.
Mate.
Someone else could lose that much and be absolutely fine.
Yeah.
Someone else could lose a litre and be fine.
It's a lot of blood.
Yeah. So I didn't do a fully wild pregnancy. But I didn't have any scans.
Oh, okay.
'Cause
Are you allowed to request that and say to them, I don't want any scans?
It's
How does
the
it work?
other way around, yeah. You just said, are you allowed to request it? I'd approach this whole pregnancy the other way around. Anything I want, I'm requesting. Otherwise, I'm not involved. Yeah. So I went to my first midwife appointment. I said, I'm not going to see you again unless I want to. That's that. I said, I'll probably see you again for my MAP-B1. I didn't need to in the end. I had an independent midwife who I knew who'd done me my MAP-B1. Because, some midwives like to play funny games. And she was like, oh, I want to get you in and do an assessment before I can give you a MAP-B1. I was like, oh, I'm not doing all this. I don't want this. I don't want fundal heights. I don't want, So, yeah. And then I did see her again or speak to her again, I think, at 36 weeks. Because I'd started having some symptoms, which I was a little unsure if it was like pre-eclamptic or whatnot. And I was like, oh, I just want I actually want to see you. I want you to do my blood pressure. I want you to dip my urine. So can you come around and let's do that? And we did that. I was fine. Everything was fine. Cool. So I was going at it from the point of I'm opting out of everything until I opt into it. And they were aware of that.
Yeah.
So I've noticed that when women choose this route of like, this is my body, this is my choice, I'm going to do what I want, then there's like social services get called and like they call police on them when they're taking their kid out of the hospital and like or when they've called the midwife while they're having their child at home, they'll call police on them.
Yeah, it
or
can.
like they'll do stuff like that.
It can. In a way, this is where I think having my mental health nurse really worked in my favour.
Okay.
Because she backed me every way. She was fully aware of my plans. And I had a mental health team behind me basically saying, if you midwives bother her, you're going to send her to Lulu.
Mm-hmm.
If you bother her, her mental health is going to be affected by you. So you just need to back off her. So because I had that ammo behind from a really good mental health nurse that really understood me, she really knew where I'd come from, really knew what I'd been through.
Wow.
So because I had that, I think it worked in my favour.
Yeah.
It does work for other women as well who don't have that. But you're right, like it can very easily lead to social service referrals. But again, it's because often people are just hearing something and just like making all these assumptions. They're not actually thinking like, why is this woman making this choice? I wasn't sitting there saying at every cost I'm going to birth at home. No. I was very happy to go and lay on a C-section table. I was very happy to go and do that. But the point is, it was my choice. So if I'm doing that, I've made the choice to do that. Mm-hmm. I was very happy to go and have a scan if at any point in my pregnancy I felt like I needed one. Yeah. I felt actually, I'm not sure about this, I want to go have a scan and get checked. I was very happy to do that. I just didn't want to do it for the sake of it, willy-nilly, when I knew first time around it was the scans that messed me up. The anxiety I had going to every scan. It was the scans that made them go, oh, we want to induce you at 38 weeks. It was all of that. Yeah. So I thought, no. Unless I feel like I need it, I'm good.
Mm-hmm. And the induction, that was unnecessary at 38 weeks.
Yeah.
If I ever have another child, who knows? If I ever have another child, I will be doing it that way as well.
Autonomy.
I want to birth at home.
Mm-hmm.
I want to choose. I want peace of mind. I don't want stress. When you went into labour, did you have a midwife there with you?
No, I just had my doula. Well, I didn't even have my doula at first. It was just me and my son most of the morning.
Wow.
Because I was in denial that I was in labour. so in denial. And I went into labour exactly 38 plus 2, which was when he was born, 38 plus 2. Like my first was, I was born at 38 plus 2, and I went into labour, and my second was born at 30 plus 2. I think that's magic.
Yeah, crazy.
But no, I didn't have a midwife. I just had my doula. She came out at some point and then like filled up my pool. And then I think baby was born within like 2 hours of her being there. And then still didn't have a midwife. I didn't actually have a midwife until a few days later. And the only reason I had a midwife was because when you free birth, you have to do self-notification of birth, which is a legal thing that you have to do. It's different to registering the birth, okay? So I'd done all my self-notification like research beforehand, but I'm 38 weeks. I'm thinking I've still got a few more weeks. So I hadn't yet sent my email to double check that it was still the right thing, right? So anyway, I'm doing my self-notification and it's coming back. So I'm getting like CHIS on the phone to me, like head of CHIS going like, you know, you're free birthed. We need a medical professional to check over the baby and all of this. And I was like, but I can literally give you all the details you want. I've given you all the details you need to do the notification in order for me to have my NHS number for the baby. And they were like, no, it's just new protocol. And it's annoying because it's the NHS England protocol, but it's not the law. So they don't marry up, which is really gutting. But anyway, I thought, right, I'm not taking my baby to the medical centre. But you know what? The midwife that I've had throughout this pregnancy, yes, at 16 weeks, she made that error, you know, saying all that stuff to me that she shouldn't have. But at 36 weeks, she came, she done what I wanted, she left, she was respectful, she was nice. I'm going to get her to come round and write all these details down and she can send it off. And that's what she done. So it was technically outside of the legal hours that you have to have been with the baby to do the notification, but because she was a healthcare professional and that's what the NHS England cared about more than the law,
Okay.
that is what we done. So she came round, saw me, saw my baby, saw that we weren't dead. I was like, yeah, we're alive, thanks. And she was really nice. She didn't want to know too many questions. Funny, because I was just sitting there like so happy. But yeah, she done it for me, and then that was all sorted.
You had no pain medication, no nothing.
No, I had a hot water bottle, and then I had the birth pool.
Wow.
So yeah,
No gas in air, nothing.
nothing.
Wow.
Only have gas and air for midwives there, and didn't have midwife.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it was incredible, and it felt amazing. And the pain is there, but I wouldn't even call it pain. It's just intense, you know?
I've seen so many videos of women online giving birth, like free birthing in their pool. And they're like,
Right.
oh, like that. And then they're like, this me, I was like, and then I'm thinking, that makes so much sense because you're actually relaxed.
You're in an
Your
environment,
body,
you're safe.
You
You're
feel
in your
safe.
own home. It hits different.
Your body feels like it can do what it needs to do.
And then
Yeah.
when you're done, you shower and you go to your own bed.
That's it.
Oh,
and
that
you
must
have
hit
a
different.
cup of tea on your own sofa.
Stop
Oh,
it.
it was so good. It was so good.
That
Now I'm
must
showing
hit
off now. I'm
different.
showing off. But yeah, it was,
I want that. If I ever have another child, that's what I want.
Well, that's what you work to. You know,
Yeah.
that's what you hold. That's the vision you have.
There's no way that somebody's going to remove my autonomy again in a hospital. There's no way.
100%. And when you have that attitude, you work towards that. That's what you get. And you know that even if it doesn't end the way you thought it was, you had autonomy. You were calling the shots.
Yeah.
So you've had your baby, right? How was postpartum the second time round?
Ooh. 2 under 2. So there was that.
Yeah.
I'm sure everyone knows about 2 under 2. It was good because I didn't have the trauma. You know, I actually got to deal with what postpartum is like when you don't have a ton of trauma from the birth.
Yeah.
And that was beautiful.
Wow.
That was really beautiful. And you have the second time mum confidence.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Everything is muscle memory at this point.
That's it.
Yeah.
Well, obviously for you, you had the confidence to just co-sleep from the off. But like for me, I had the confidence to do it, but I was very like, oh, I feel like I shouldn't be doing it. I feel like I'm being, you know, a naughty girl. And whereas second time around, I was like, no, you were born 6 hours ago.
Yeah.
We're going to bed together tonight. You know, and it was that, and also the knowing that you get through it all.
Yeah.
The thing that really did flare up was the OCD. At this point, it was still undiagnosed. Yeah, so I was still working with the psychologist from when I was pregnant. So when I was pregnant with my second, I had severe PTSD from the birth. I didn't know that's what it was, but obviously through working with the mental health team and it being flagged and then working with her, she said I was like moderately, oh no, I think she might have said I had like severe PTSD around his birth. So that I was doing EMDR therapy in my late second pregnancy to process the trauma from the first birth in the hope that it helped me, you know, with a bit of the birth prep.
Wow.
For my second birth.
What's EMDR?
So I can't remember exactly what it's called, but it's essentially this type of therapy where, what did we do? We would have to like tap our legs. Like she'd tap her legs, I'd tap mine, and she would like just ask me questions and we'd flick between the trauma and then having a normal conversation. Trauma, having a normal conversation. So it's like trying to process it but behind the scenes, so you're not having to like relive it all.
So you're like focusing on the tapping.
That's it. Okay. And the normal conversation, she'll ask like, what did you have for dinner last night? What are you doing with the kids today? Or what are you doing with your son today? And then she'll go, right, go back to that moment when this happened.
Oh my God.
Carry on tapping. Right, now carry on the conversation. It was like that.
Wow.
Yeah. And she said that's how the EMDR is, because she also worked with like the people with PTSD from the armed forces. She said that's how they do a lot of their processing as well. Wow. So it was really cool. But I was still working with her even after the birth of the second. And I was actually supposed to see her on the day that I gave birth to my second. And she like texted me and then I never replied. And my partner at the time, he'd obviously replied to her and said like, oh no, I think I replied to her in the morning saying, you can still come, but I might be in labour, so I don't know if I'll be able to concentrate. She was like, it's fine, I'm not coming. So yeah, and so I still worked with her And that was when we really were like, hang on, this is OCD. And like, we need to like hit on this now, because it was getting to the point where I would literally be counting everything all the time. Like the corner of something, I would like just have to like follow it with my eyes and count everything. Yeah. And like doing like mental calculations on numbers and stuff like all the time. And then it came to like that, obviously this is something I've had for a really long time. And obviously first postpartum, first pregnancy, it was all there. It was just all sitting there, like undiagnosed, bubbling away. I'm completely oblivious to, don't know what it is, how it affects me, how to cope with it. So then we started doing some work on that.
Wow.
So yeah.
Oh my God.
But it was good. Like, yes, there were some heavy parts in that first year postpartum with my second, because we were processing a lot of childhood trauma as well. But my general feeling of it was just generally quite positive.
It was,
because
there's
I had this
as well, as in like you're getting
that's
the
it.
therapy done and all of that stuff.
That's it. And like I always had this beautiful birth experience to fall back on, which it just really felt like, yes, like
it feels like you're rewriting the first experience.
That's it.
So beautiful.
That's it.
And now like I like to explain my brain as like spaghetti bolognese, where like the spaghetti's all like tangled up and mixed together, and then as you go through stuff and like you sift through it, it's like you're combing the spaghetti out.
Yeah, that's it. You straighten it all out.
You straighten all of it out, and now it's like a long piece of spaghetti rather than
this tangled mess that you don't know what to do with.
My brain sometimes feels like that.
Yeah.
And then after I got my ADHD diagnosis, I was like, okay, wow, this is starting to comb out. After I got the meds, starting to comb out more. Now I feel like it's just a whole bunch of like straight spaghetti.
Yeah. And the thing is, once you've combed it out once, you've got the tools then.
Yeah.
When it starts getting messy again, you can be like, hang on, I need to just go and clean this bit up again.
Absolutely.
Or just sit with that again. It's all about, everything's just got to be kept within this fine balance.
You have the coping mechanisms and the tools. If you don't know, like you said earlier on, what you didn't know, you couldn't have known.
Yeah.
It's all about just being informed and learning.
Yeah. And if you don't know, find someone who knows. Speak to someone else, they'll know. Yeah. And you just keep going.
I do want to start by asking, how's your mental health today?
Ooh. It's so much better. So much better than it ever has been.
Yeah.
Like, it really is. I can't say I've conquered it, because I think it's a lifelong thing.
Yeah.
I really do. But I have the tools now. I'm so much more self-aware. Like, I'm able to sit with myself. A lot of how I like process difficult things these days is actually allowing myself to feel the pain. You can't heal what you can't feel. It's the saying.
My therapist, shout out to Atty, my therapist, she told me that every emotion that you experience, it only actually lasts 90 seconds. And she said, if you just sit with it for that 90 seconds and you let yourself feel it and you don't push it away, you don't try and like cover it or minimize it, or she said, just feel it for 90 seconds. And once you've felt it, anything you continue to feel after that is a choice that you're making.
Interesting.
So even when I'm like hormonal and I'm like, I need to cry, and I sit there and bawl my eyes out for 1 hour and a half watching The Notebook, I'm like, I know this is a choice.
Yeah.
But the initial feeling of like, I want to cry, it only lasted like 90 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's right. And since I learned that, you learn the coping mechanisms and tools.
Yeah.
You can now go through life not fearing a specific emotion.
That's it, isn't it? It's about being able to manage your emotions and not be scared of them.
Yeah.
And like, even with like anger, that was always such a scary emotion for me because I never understood it. I never understood its purpose. I always thought it was this bad emotion that I should like suppress. But actually, if you can harness it in a really positive way, you can make really strong decisions from anger. And it doesn't have to be irrational. You can go, actually, I'm feeling like this. This means I need to do something. What do I need to do? What's like a grounded and aligned action I need to take?
Yeah.
And like, so I obviously went on to do my doula training with When Push Comes to Shove, Nikita Stark, and she is where I first heard that saying, you can't heal what you refuse to feel. So since then, I just really will sit there and go, I know I need to feel this, and I'll just give myself a time where I can fully immerse myself in the feeling. And to be fair, sometimes that might be for like an hour or two. And I try not to like let myself go into like this kind of victim mode from it as well, because I think sometimes it can be very easy, especially once you've been given these diagnoses of like BPD, OCD. I don't really let them like define me or be a label for me. The BPD was something that I got diagnosed just as I came out of the MBU with. And I used that diagnosis to go on to this course called Waves. And it was a year-long course. And you basically just learn all about psychology, how to regulate your emotions. And it was just incredible. And since that, I remember speaking to one of the ladies who facilitates it, and I said to her, the thing is, I don't want to be BPD. I don't want to be this forever. I don't want to be, because you assume when you've got a personality disorder, that's like forever then. But it doesn't have to be, and I actually strongly think that now if I was to be sat through an assessment for it, I probably wouldn't even meet criteria for it.
Yeah.
Wow.
OCD is like, that's my one thing I think that I'll always be a bit like, and even with the BPD, there are times where it might fluctuate or I might be more symptomatic than other times. But it's just always a balance and a juggle. But, I just take all the good. I always look to the light. I really love to look to the light. Like, I'm aware of all the darkness. I'm fully aware. But look to the light and, like, move in that direction. And do things that, you feel passionate about, and
That makes me so happy to hear.
Yeah.
Enjoy life. Like, I was sitting there last night thinking like, oh, wow, I'm going to come here today and like share this with you guys. And I sat there and I was like, wow, like I've really been through it. I'll say that now. Like, there were times where I really just wouldn't even admit that to myself because I'm like, no, it's just, But no, I've really been through it. And like to sit there and be like, there was actually genuinely a time where I actually didn't want to be here. I did, and now I'm like,
you're a completely different person.
I'm like, yeah, that's it. And I think I'm so glad I'm still here. Like, I'm so glad that I'm still here and I can have the positive impact that I can, and just enjoy my children. Like, wow, if I hadn't have been here, I wouldn't have got that second birth.
Wow.
Like, even that, I wouldn't got to see my child turn 3 or 2, 1.
Yeah.
Let alone my oldest being 4. And, I wouldn't get to do the work I do now and enjoy life and see the impact that I can have on other people. And just being part of communities where it is just women helping other women. I just love it.
Yeah.
So do we. We love that.
It lights me up. Like, you can see I'm getting all like excited because I just love it. I just love that you can turn your pain into something so powerful, and you can turn your darkness into something so light, and then you can use that light to really have an impact and help other people.
You have no idea how much you're helping people just by sitting here and talking.
Thank you.
And sharing your story.
Thank you.
Honestly, it's inspirational. I'm so happy for you. I'm happy that you're in a good place. And now, even if things go wrong in life, like, that you have this toolbox of ways to be able to bring yourself back to that light.
Yeah, that's it. Bring myself back to it and set a good example for my kids. Like, show my kids that, because life is going to bring you crap. Yeah, like, life is going to bring you hardships. That just by being alive, you're going to face difficulty. So you may as well learn the tools to be able to always, like you say, go back to the light, get yourself back onto the right track. And once you've overcome that kind of difficulty and you find that power within yourself, it feels just incredible.
Wow. So you mentioned that you work with mums and babies.
Yes.
So what is it that you do?
So I trained as a doula
to
be able to support other women, basically, who were going through similar, like, who just wanted to have someone who would turn up to their birth even if they didn't want midwives.
Wow.
Because a lot of people, it's a very scary thing. And it doesn't mean I just, work with anyone who chooses that, because even as a doula, you need to make sure that the person you're working with, like, where are they coming from in their choices? I'm very big believer, like, we shouldn't be coming from fear in any choice. Yeah, and when I first thought free birth and chose that, it was coming from a place of fear, but throughout that choice, I worked through the fear so that it then wasn't from fear by the time I was actually pregnant and doing it. So yeah, I work with women throughout pregnancy, not so much postpartum. That's more like what the podcast is there for, to support the postpartum side, but mainly throughout pregnancy. And I will attend births. So I've attended like hospital births and home births and free births.
That's so beautiful. And you had a doula when you were free birthing.
I did.
Yeah.
And honestly, like the experience that we had together, like me and her, like afterwards, she looked at me and I was just so happy. And I think I was her second free birth that she'd ever attended. And she looked at me and she was like, this is how it's supposed to be. Like, how happy you are. This is how it's supposed to be. And she also had a sadness in her. And she said, I'm just a little bit sad for all the women that don't get this. You know, for all the women that don't get to have that experience that they wanted that they didn't get, you know, like the autonomy being taken away.
Absolutely.
And she said, and I just remember saying, but don't you think about that, you know, look at what you've just done. You're incredible, you know. And I just thought this was amazing. And I just thought, if there's anything I can do to support other women to achieve, not so they achieve that birth, but just so they achieve that feeling of I'm empowered, I've made these decisions, then that's what I want to do. Because I think birth is so important because it shapes you for the rest of your life. It shapes and imprints your children. You know, it's how they're coming into the world. Are they coming into the world to a like dishevelled, broken mum?
Absolutely.
Or are they coming into a mum that feels like these are my choices and I own that? I'm good with that.
Absolutely. It's a door that you walk through, and if the minute you step through that door, you fall off a cliff, it shapes your parenting, it shapes your patience levels, it shapes your tolerance levels, it shapes everything.
Yeah. And postpartum and having children and being a mum is hard enough as it is.
Exactly.
Let's at least make sure mums are feeling the best they can after that birth, however that birth was for that mum. You know, it could be an elective C-section, but let's just make sure she's feeling as good as she can after that C-section. Let's make sure she's just feeling as on top of the world and she's got the support in place. And I think because I've got the mental health aspect, one of my first clients, I know she wouldn't mind me mentioning, she was actually facing a real difficult time in her pregnancy. She was 45 years old. She was getting every high-risk label and really felt like she was being pushed and forced into this birth that she didn't want. And she hired me, and within literally like a couple of weeks, we were able to completely turn it around, get, you know, everyone off her back, give her the space so she felt like she could breathe for those last few weeks of pregnancy. She went on to have the most beautiful free birth.
Wow.
And even if that was the only birth I even ever attended, like that was just worth it, you know, to just see her, because she had a previous first traumatic birth, you know, and her husband was traumatized from it. And I'll just never forget the looks on their faces when they had that second baby. And that was just... It was just so beautiful. I thought that is just enough for me, you know.
So happy for you.
I'm so happy for them, but I'm also happy for that I'm able to actually support women because, you know, you learn the system and you understand how these things work.
Wow.
I don't know how you feel, Sylvia, but I am in awe.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely in awe. You've taken hitting rock bottom, then below rock bottom, then the one below the rock, below of the rock bottom, and then turned it into this just incredible thing. And I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Genuinely, I'm proud of you as well, man.
Thank you, ladies. I really appreciate it.
If you could talk to the Jasmine that was in the MBU, what would you say to her?
Oh, you're going to hit me, guys.
Sorry.
What did I say? You're going to get through this. You are. You have no idea how, but you need to have faith and trust because you are. And you're going to go on to do things that you just never would even imagine yourself to do. And you're going to help people in ways you never imagined you were going to help people. So you're going to get through it.
If you have any advice for a mum who is suffering with her mental health and really struggling and doesn't understand what the hell is going on, what would you say to a mum that was postpartum and really struggling with her mental health, intrusive thoughts, all of that?
First thing I would say is, and then this is important, you're not the only one, and it's not to invalidate. It's actually to say you are not the only one, and you are not a bad mum. This is completely somewhat normal response often to considering the circumstances that you would have gone through that have led you up to this point. Take it day by day. And I don't want to be that person that's like, reach out for help, because reaching out for help can look very different for different people. So I'm not going to say, go straight away and get a mental health assessment. Go straight to your doctor. You go to where you feel you get help from. Help that actually sustains you, whether it be someone look after your baby, whether you can get a postpartum doula. If you're in a situation where you can afford a postpartum doula to come and help take some of the load off you, even just to listen to you. If you need a birth reflection session, there's so many different ways, and help can look very different to everyone. But if you're really, really in thick and you think you're in a crisis situation, then of course you need to go and get, serious help if you think that you or your baby could really be in harm's way. But just sit and think, if you can, to yourself about what would feel good for you right now. What do you feel is something that could just lighten your load right now to give you the space to be able to deal with the emotions you need to deal with? Do you need to get professional help? Do you need to just speak to a friend?
Thank you, Jasmine. Wow. This story is so inspiring, because I don't think even you thought back then that you would actually end up being a doula.
Oh, no.
And witnessing 3 births after a traumatic birth. Do you know what I mean?
No way.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's completely shaped my life into a way I never...
Did you want to become a doula because of your experiences, or did you always want to be a doula?
Because of my experiences.
Wow.
I even remember, like, after my second was born, I remember saying to myself, oh, don't get carried away here thinking you're going to be a doula. I literally remember saying that to myself, because I was like, you've just done this. You've just done all the learning that you have done for yourself. And I remember just saying, like, you're not doing this for anyone else. You're just doing it for you. And that was what I needed at the time, because I just needed to focus on me. But then after it was all said and done, I was like, hang on a minute. I have so much knowledge here. And if I can share that knowledge with other people, even if that is just through my storytelling of my experience, then actually, why not just share it? Why not just share it? If there's actually potential that someone can benefit, then it would actually be rude of me not to, I felt.
Isn't it crazy how one thing completely changed, like, her trajectory?
Yeah.
Like, you weren't trying to be a doula before all of this. Like,
No way.
You were like, I'm not even sure if I want to have another kid.
Yeah.
At that point.
I was like, it's elective C-section if I have a second.
Yeah. Wow.
What a story.
What an incredible story.
Thank you, ladies.
Wow.
We might have to wrap up.
Let's wrap it up.
But Jasmine, your story, you're an incredible woman, first of all.
Absolutely.
Please plug yourself so that we can put everything in the description box if people want to follow along to your podcast and support you in that way.
Yeah, for sure.
Just share whatever you feel comfortable with. So plug yourself.
Yeah, honestly, there's nothing to plug. Guys. I'm sorry. Just my Instagram. If you guys would just chuck my Instagram in the description.
Yeah.
What's your Instagram? Tell them.
Jasmine Paige __.
Okay.
2 underscores, I'm pretty sure.
And your podcast.
My podcast, yes, of course. My postpartum podcast. Come and listen to other women's postpartum stories. It's amazing. Such a different variety of women, all different walks of life. And you might even come and share yours if you like. Come and share your story as well.
Yeah. Subscribe to her podcast, guys.
Yes. And also tell them about your doula services.
Doula services, of course, yeah. So my doula services are, you can find my website. It's Jasmine's Birth Services. So you've got birth reflection sessions, You've got birth preparation sessions. We've got virtual doula for if you're not local to me and you don't necessarily want someone at the birth, or you've got in-person doula, and even a beautiful birth pool to hire. So,
love that. That's how you plug yourself, Jasmine. Don't be shy.
don't be shy.
Gotta tell the people. You never know. There might be someone out there who's like, I love this woman.
Yeah,
after
that's
watching
true.
this episode,
Yeah, that's
and
true.
think,
You just never know.
I'm like 25 weeks.
There could be someone who's
Give her a
looking
call.
for a doula.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
You never
And
know.
They see this
Yeah.
and they're like, oh, let me check out her website.
And then they Google, you're like, oh my God, I live 1 hour from her, or
Yeah,
I live
that's
half an hour
it.
from her.
That's
you know?
it. That's true.
But yeah, man, guys, thank you so much. Thank you, Jasmine, once again for
Thank
coming
you.
and sharing your story. You've travelled a long way, so we really appreciate you taking time out of
Honestly.
your day. Obviously, we'll stay connected. To those who reached the end, thank you guys for listening. Of course, if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you subscribe and subscribe to Jasmine's podcast as well.
Absolutely.
Do you have any last words?
Yeah, I was going to say, honestly, if you've watched this episode today, and because we've had a few instances where people have said that they didn't know they were going through postpartum depression until they watched our podcast, or they didn't know that they were struggling as much as they were struggling. They thought that it was just normal and that they were getting on with it. And it's only when they heard other people's experiences and found out what is normal and what is abnormal that they realized they were in the abnormal section of the party. If you do feel like you are really, really struggling, please check out the description box. We'll put some helplines on there for you guys to give a call to. If you would like us to send you our therapist, we can do that too. Just send us an Instagram DM, or you can follow her online at Conscious Creeds. She's absolutely fantastic, and she helps mums navigate life, you know?
Yeah.
And honestly, if you have loved this episode today, please like, comment, share, subscribe, put the bell notification on so that people can get the notifications every time we upload.
But yeah, guys, this will be actually, I thought we should just let them know.
Yeah, we might as well let you guys know.
We're
ending the podcast. I'm joking.
Well, what an end.
Jasmine just about made it.
After Jazz's, we never want to do another one ever again.
Yeah.
Don't want to sit through that ever again.
No, I'm joking. We're just taking a short break.
I'm going away for a couple of weeks, guys. I'm sorry. So after this episode's out, we're gonna take a little break, summer break.
Yep.
And we'll be back maybe August. Yeah, let's
End of August,
September vibes.
Because it's going to be summer holidays,
Just
isn't
see
it?
it as a summer holiday, guys.
Yeah,
We'll be back just in time for the back to
Enjoy
school.
your break.
Yeah.
We'll come back to school. I think we should start doing that like teachers.
I like that. Do it time only.
I think we should start doing that, film in half terms and then only be term time.
But over the summer, they can just like rewatch their favorite episodes.
I like that idea.
All right, guys, have a lovely summer break. Hope you survive the heat wave, stay hydrated and that. And yeah, thank you.
Electrolytes.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.